So let's proceed to the components of centralized air conditioning system. So let's discuss first the air handling unit. Okay, an air handling unit, or the AHU, or air handler, is a pre-assembled or site-built equipment device containing the coils and the fans that is used to condition and circulate air as part of an HVAC system. An AHU is a large sheet metal box-like cabinet containing the fan, the cooling or heating coils, the filter, the racks or chamber, the sound attenuators, and of course the dampers. A humidifier may be required to add moisture to the air under certain conditions, especially for temperate countries. So the rule of thumb for the space allotment of AHU based on the total gross floor area of our building is between 3 to 5% of the gross floor area, wherein 55 square meters is the minimum space that we allot for an AHU room, which is 1,000 square meters. Okay. And for auditoriums, theaters, and restaurant buildings, okay, this is around 4 to 6%, okay, of the total allotment for AHU requirements. Okay, so the next component is the cooling tower. Okay, so a cooling tower expels heat from a chilled water system when water is cooled by direct or indirect contact of the refrigerant to the atmosphere. Cooling towers are used as the condenser on scale air conditioning installation because they are the most efficient. Okay, and the most efficient refrigerant used in large scale buildings are water. Okay, that's the cheaper and most efficient. Okay, cooling tower system, however, increase water use, have extensive maintenance requirement. Okay, it requires freeze protection for temperate countries, a close control of water treatment to function successfully, as well as replacement of water to minimize mold proliferation or growth of bacteria and mold mildew. Okay, so all cooling towers operate on the principle of removing heat from water by evaporating a small portion of the water that is recirculated through the unit. Okay, the heat that is removed is called the latent heat of vaporization. Okay. So the cooling tower, the common location of the cooling tower is in the roof or the roof deck of the building, because you have a lot of it's an open space and you have a lot of air flowing through the tower itself, or the unit. The tower should be isolated acoustically from the frame of the building due to the noise and vibration it accumulates. Okay, and noise sensitive areas should be not be located directly below them. And more oftenly, you have a isolating pad, okay, installed, okay, in the placement, okay, of this cooling tower. So cooling tower ranges between 4 meters and 12 meters in height, and the height for a given building can be estimated by interpolating between these two extremes. Okay, so the tower usually have a 1.2 meter crawl space beneath. So let's identify types of cooling tower. Okay, so one is the direct or open cooling tower. This cooling tower exposes the cooling water directly to the outdoor air. So the warm cooling water is sprayed over, okay, a fill in the cooling tower to increase the contact area, and the outdoor air is blown through the fill. Okay, so the fill is this one. Okay, yan. Okay, so the water cools down when it falls through the fill and is then collected in the water basin placed below. Okay, So the heated moisture laden air leaving the packing is released into the open air. Yeah. So the second type of cooling tower is the indirect or closed cooling tower, which is the common now at these days. Okay, um, we seldom use the open cooling tower. Okay, so the indirect or closed cooling tower circulates the cooling water through the tubes of a coil uh, bundle in the tower. So this is the coil. So you will spray it. Okay. So the spray evaporates, cooling the circulating water in the coils and in smaller sizes. Closed circuit cooling tower is also known as a dry cooling tower that because they have no connection between the air and the fluid being cooled. Okay, so they don't mix up. Okay, so the air evaporate through this cascading water, put cooling impact on the tower. However, the cooled water never develops direct contact in the air. Okay, so let's have different fan system of the cooling tower. So we have a forced drop cooling tower wherein the fan is located at the bottom or at the side of the cooling tower. So forced drop cooling tower employ an air distribution system that force air into the tower. Fans are positioned at the side of the cooling tower. Characterize them. Induced drop cooling towers operate by pulling air through the tower and use fans located on the top of the cooling tower to draw the hot air at the top of the cooling tower. So another fan system of a cooling tower is an induced draft cooling tower. So it is being operated by pulling air through the tower and the fans are located on the top of the cooling tower. So that's the difference between the induced draft and the forced draft cooling tower. Okay, so here is the differences of fans. Okay, the natural draft, it doesn't have any fan. Okay, so it depend the cooling system depends on the scale of your cooling tower. Okay, then we have the forced drop wherein the fan is located at the side bottom side of the tower, and the induced drop, okay, you draws air, okay, on the top of the uh, tower itself. Okay. Then we have the airflow in terms of how the air is passed through the tower. So one is the cross flow and one is the counter flow. So counter flow, you counter the trickling of the water as okay in the cooling tower. While the cross flow, the uh, the the film, okay, or this film is located at the side. Okay. Okay. Then you have your water circuit, you have your closed circuit, and the open circuit. So the difference of a closed circuit is that it has a cooling coil. Okay, so the cooling coil or the coil is being cooled by the water. Unlike the open circuit wherein uh, you draw evaporation of air or cooled air through evaporation going through your piping system here at the top. Okay. So one is recirculated. Okay, the other one, the pipe you're being cooled is on the top. Okay, you put air. Okay, here evaporative cooling. Okay, so we have finished the cooling tower. So this is one of the most important um, component of a water cooled centralized air conditioning system, the chiller. Okay, so the chiller by it means it chills the water. Okay, it refrigerates the water. Okay, it cools the water, and the water acts as a refrigerant. Okay, a chiller is a large piece of cooling equipment that produces chilled water, okay, which is used to remove heat from the building. Okay, so chillers generally use the vapor compression refrigeration cycle to extract heat from water and reject it either outdoor air or water. So absorption chillers, another type of chiller, use thermal or chemical process to produce refrigeration effect necessary to provide chilled water. So the selection of chillers depends upon the availability and cost of fuel and electricity, as well as the size of building to be cooled. In a centralized system, specifically water-cooled system, water acts as the refrigerant. While in the direct expansion system, like your unitary type, okay, the freon or other refrigerant liquid is used. So that's why DX system is primarily used for small to medium scale building. While large scale cooling, you opt to use water cooled centralized system. Okay, so the chillers give off heat, noise, and vibration, and should not be located near spaces they will that have adversely effects. So they may be placed anywhere in the building, specifically in basement, or it may be in roof. But they are heavy and require deeper normal structural members for support. So basically, most of the chiller, okay, system are located at the basement, and you have a series of pumps, okay, to pump out chilled water and distribute it to different floors. Okay. Okay. So what are the consideration in selecting your chiller, as well as the design of the spaces? Okay, you need to consider the ceiling height. Okay, so the minimum height, okay, for a chiller is 3.66 or 7 meters. Okay, and a maximum of 4.88 meters for large buildings. Okay, so imagine if you need to have a basement, okay, that has a ceiling height of 3.66 meters. Okay, or else you need to put that chiller equipment in the roof deck and consider additional structural load on your design of the building. Okay, so this is the space requirements for your chillers. So basically, it requires 1.5% to 3% of your building space. Oh, okay, yeah. Uh, Depends. So 1.5 to 5% of your total gross floor areas. Okay, for apartments, hotels, dormitories, hospitals, and patient rooms. Okay, and for offices and buildings, okay, this is much smaller. Okay, so this is around 1.5%, okay, to 2% of the spaces. Okay, and for auditoriums that requires highly occupant use. Okay, so it has a around 5%, okay, or 6%, up to 6% of the total building spaces. Okay.